This is about to be the best video ever.
Man, that looks really cool, bro.
It does look pretty good. Charlie, I'm so appreciative to do this video with you, brother.
Man,
This has been a long time coming.
it has been, actually.
So, you guys can see, this is my friend Charlie Rocket. This guy is a big inspiration to me. Advisor, friend, mentor. I've learned a lot from him. Getting the opportunity to live in close proximity together for the last couple months. And I wanted to take 10 minutes with him, chop it up, ask him some questions that I've got to observe from him and on how he operates. And, you know, a lot of my followers, a lot of you guys watching this video already know who Charlie is. You know, I'll let him explain himself in more detail. For those of you who don't, someone that's, you know, has had success in the past, but more importantly, someone that continues to grow, continues to take action. You know, what I really appreciate about Charlie is his ability to storytell, reinvent himself, and like just stay consistent and committed towards a big vision and really draw energy from a higher power. And I want to talk with him more on how he does that. I really appreciate that about you, bro.
Hey, man,
So
I
much.
appreciate you too, man.
And the first question, dude, that I wanted to ask you, because it's so fitting today, is you just posted something an hour ago, which was being lazy is disrespectful to everyone that believes in you. Oh, and I love that, dude, because, you know, when you make it about somebody else, not about you, you draw it from a different motivation, you know?
That's right.
So maybe the first question is like, where'd you learn that from? And who believes in you, you know, like when you're thinking about that yourself?
Well, it first kind of hit me when I would make promises to myself. I realized there was this cycle of letting myself down, because I realized I'll start, you know, Monday, you know, and like we're perfectly fine with letting ourselves down. We do it all the freaking time. But if I were to tell my mother I would do something for her, and if I did not do it, it would hurt her. So, you know, I started thinking about everything in terms of, you know, the people who care about me or the people who cheer me or give that energy to me. It's like, all right, I'm going to do it for them because I know I'm not going to let them down. You know, so yeah, like, I make sure I tell everybody my dreams so that they can have it in them. And then I have to be a man of my word, because that's really what it just comes down to. Are you a man of your word, or a woman of your word?
Right.
Or are you not? And if you tell people you're going to do something, then that's what you get to wake up and decide, you know, if you're a liar or, you know, somebody who does what they say they're going to do. So yeah, like, there's so many people that believe in us, like, everybody, like, and then there's people who doubt too, but they still care, you know?
Enough to doubt, right? They care enough to doubt.
Yeah, man. So that's really that quote. It's just like a catchy little, you know how Instagram you come up with the catchy little stuff, but it really did hit home. It hit home for me, and I wanted to share it with everybody.
You talk about the dream, you know. So what is the current dream now?
I'm going to win MVP of the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game, and like nobody gets it. Like I like some people, like they're like happy, but then like most people are silent. They're like, okay, you know, and I'm like, y'all don't know what the finish line looks like.
Right.
Like I see this story of like this common man who shows the world that a dream is possible, and the finish line is like, wow, like he said he was going to do something. He put in all this work and he became something, because most of our dreams, like, you know, people have their like bucket list.
Right.
But I don't believe true bucket list items are like, oh, I want to like skydive. Like, no, people's true bucket list is I want to become something. And they never became it.
That's a good point.
And so when you're on your deathbed and you're looking back at your life, you don't think about, I wish I jumped out of an airplane. For me, like when I was looking at my deathbed, I was like, wow, I just wanted to become an athlete. That's all I wanted. And then that's when I decided to leave my music business. And for everybody listening, I used to manage artists like 2 Chainz and Young Dolph and Travis Porter. And we had world tours and all sorts of albums and worked with the biggest artists in the world. And I left everything to chase my dream of being an athlete.
And you did that successfully, even before the NBA also.
Yeah. So I became an Ironman. I became a Nike athlete. I was in the biggest Nike commercial of all time. That commercial was even named after me. And that's just proof that, like, a common person who has a dream can achieve it. And I'm just doing it again. And this time I'm documenting every step of the way so that people could truly see the process of how to chase a dream and the mindset of how to chase a dream. And that I'm no different than y'all, because 2 months ago I couldn't even dribble. Now I'm doing spin move behind the back. Like, I couldn't even go through my legs 2 months ago. So it really is possible. And even Coach AJ, he when he saw me the other day, because I didn't see him for a month because of quarantine. When he saw me the other day, he said, "Boy, you're gonna win MVP." And I'm like, I told y'all I'm gonna win MVP. Because we got like almost 10 more months. We got like 9.5 more months. And I'm looking at 9 months like,
yeah, you're hitting it hard.
I'm like, wow, if I can double where I was last month. And now I'm hitting stride. And now, like, my feet don't get tired when I play for 3 hours. So I'm like, oh, now I could do more.
Compound growth.
Yeah, it's like I'm hitting new levels. And it's like that goal. I was out there on the court 2 days ago. And I was just visualizing the game. Like, oh, when I caught the ball, crowd goes wild. And all I got to do is hit about like 8 shots to win MVP. So I'm just out there shooting. I'm like, hitting 8 is easy. So I'm just going to visualize it every day. So not to ramble on about my dream.
No, it's perfect, bro, because it leads me into the next thing, because, what I really learned so much from you, and I'm continuing to learn as I observe and build new habits, right, was, really getting the opportunity to be next to you or around your personal space during this rebrand. Archiving all of your Instagram photos, starting at 0, and then getting the opportunity to have that like personal conversation where we're talking about storytelling and a single narrative. And keeping it simple so that, people understand what you're doing, what your goal is, for a specific period of time, and creating a chapter in a storybook, right? And that's given me such great perspective looking at Leave Normal Behind and the stories that we tell, and even myself as, as I'm growing into the leader that I want to be, right? So the question that is kind of three part, because it's not a one part answer, because they're all connected to each other. So it's how do you stay committed to the thing that you want to do, and not just like kind of committed. You're above average committed. I can testify to that. You are exceptional at commitment. How do you stay committed? How do you stay creative? Both of these now type into the third thing, which you are also share a huge passion on, similar to myself, is how are you drawing the energy and from where to fuel your creativity and your commitment by leveraging these universal laws and principles, because it's all connected from what I've observed. The ability to stay committed, to do big things, draw in huge people, and manifest ultimately.
I do great with my back against the wall. So I put myself in that position. And if I wipe my slate clean of my ego, of, oh, this is everything I've done, I might want to hang on to those things if those things are present. But then I think about it, like, if let's say I'm a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I won the Super Bowl last year. And then we're in the third game of the next year and we lose. And I were to go up to the podium and be like, but I won a Super Bowl last year and I did this. Everybody would be like, but that was last year. That doesn't matter. What you've done in the past just does not matter. And all of us are guilty of it, of just like holding on to the things we're good at and not creating the next play. The last play won't win the next play. So I just put my back against the wall and I was like, you know what, we're going to wipe the slate clean. I am not a music mogul. I am an athlete. And when I was 300 pounds, I was forced to become an athlete. Because I wiped my slate clean. I left the music industry. I didn't even hang on to it. I didn't even ask for help. I didn't even ask for money. I wanted a new life. So a couple months ago with the basketball journey, I just wiped my Instagram clean and I said, okay, here's my basketball journey. It's going to start here and it's going to end there.
Right.
And that's just the process. And everybody, you know, wonders, like, what's Charlie doing? And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I do this for other people. And I know what other people need, even though they might not know what they need. But what they need is a beginning, middle, and end. And they need to know it's possible. Even if it's just 100 people, 500 people, 5,000 people, it doesn't matter. If those people could just see, and that's why movies are so good, because we get to see the bad scenes, and the bad scenes make the good scenes so good.
Better, right. You have some context.
But Instagram is just like good scenes. So I wanted to make the Instagram kind of like a movie, and one of the things that keeps me going is like say you're watching a movie and there's a scene 45 minutes in. Do people clap?
No.
They wait till the end to clap. So if nobody's clapping right now, that's okay, because we're living a movie. So that director isn't upset an hour in when nobody's clapping. At the end, when it all ties together, everybody claps. So that's what keeps me going. I'm living a story. I'm living a movie, and I recommend we all attempt, if we can, to live a life they would want to make a movie about one day, because this isn't our practice life. This is our
The real life, right.
Why not do something amazing? And that amazing is scary, and that amazing is difficult, but it's possible. And I'm going to continue the rest of my life to show people it's possible, because like I want to keep removing myself from the top of the mountain and putting myself on the bottom of the mountain with the people and showing them how to climb up it. And then I'll do it again. And then we're going to climb up it together. And I'm just going to, for the rest of my life, that's how I envision my life, because talking is great. Talking really can help people. But talking and doing with them, oh, now that's the next level.
Right. And so when you say that, which is so awesome to kind of, tap into, it's a vision beyond yourself. You know where you're going. You know that it's already done because it's been thought. As long as you just continue down the process, you're gonna step into the promised land.
Yes.
Combined with the personal human motivations of, I got my mom I don't want to let down. I got my friends I don't want to let down. I got that person in Alaska that's following me. They need me. So you're drawing on those external forces of motivation too. Now, this small little third part is, you have from what I observed, and I'm acknowledging, really great habits when it comes into magic. True magic. And for those who may not believe in magic, I once had a mentor advisor ask me, Rob, if you don't believe in magic, do you ever think you could experience it? That's an easy answer. And so what I've gotten the opportunity to observe in you is how much you believe in magic.
Yeah.
To the point where you even got a wand one day, if you remember.
It's in my room.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think that's where I'm blessed in my proximity on my path and your path to see some of those more ancient rituals, habits, access, right? Because even taking yourself there requires a lot of unconditioning from what you may have already learned to feel weird, which would already negate the whole process together. Because as soon as you start self-doubting, like, am I too out there? Is this too far-fetched? Oh, no one here is doing it. You know, you have a huge notebook, thousands of pages. You'll open it up right in the middle of the table and start writing magical spells, you know, so how, let's talk about that. Say somebody feels really distanced. We don't have to give them the secrets of getting to that point, right? But maybe how do you start to uncondition some of the things that might even prevent you from realizing how connected energy is to this commitment you're talking about, the creativity for you to like get new thoughts, to have these dreams come. That's why I feel like it's all connected, I don't feel like it's separate parts.
It's definitely connected. So each one of us, we have a dream inside of us. A lot of us get confused when we add in the word purpose. It's like, I don't know what my purpose is. But everybody has a dream. There's no shortage of dreams. Zero.
Yeah, I like how you made that.
There's a shortage of purpose. And like if we were to go back in my life, like it took me rock bottom of like being scared of death, just at the end of my road, that made me so desperate to start chasing my dream. So it took a lot to get me to do it, because I was stuck in this web that I created called life and reality and realistic business and how do I make money, and it was great. I did great at it, but I just needed magic. I was ready for magic because the realistic wasn't hitting me. Yeah, the results it did in one area, but not in all areas. And so I said, it's time for magic, and I went back to my dream, and a lot of amazing things started happening. I used to, like, my mom, she would always say to me, like with business, she would say, always put God first. Like all your success, you gotta put God first. And this was a point in my life where I was like, but Mom, like, I passed out those CDs. Like, I woke up really early. Like, I don't understand that. Because
like
I believe
God didn't do that for me.
Like, I believe in God, but I didn't understand her perspective of, like, put God first for all your success. And I'm like, I did it. I was very linear. I was very, I do this and I'll get this. So if I want more, I need to do more, and then I'll get more.
Right.
And I thought it was me doing everything. And then when I hit my dead end and my rock bottom, I needed magic. And then magic came. I would say things like, I'm going to be a Nike athlete. I got into this really delusional, like, dream world. And it became really fun and addictive. And I slip in and out of it based upon how much gravity I feel. If I'm stressed, I consider that gravity. If I'm tired, I consider that gravity. If there's negative people, like, affecting my emotions, I consider that gravity. But when I'm well rested and I feel good and I'm confident I start floating, and when I float, I'm able to go into this like dream world in my mind, and I just start thinking about all the possibilities, and it's really fun to think about. And I'll like try to stay in that dream world as much as possible. That's just daydreaming. That's all it is. I mean, this is like I want to exit where I'm at and envision, and I'll go on these dream walks, and I'll sit out here the other day. You drove by, and I was sitting right here, and I was in my dream world, like writing in my quantum possibilities notebook. And I would ask for things, and the things I would ask for is magic. And a lot of people will call somebody, like in a movie or something, a sorcerer.
Right. Or a witch, even like.
So let's take the word sorcerer. Sounds negative. Sorcerer is somebody who just knows how to pull from source.
Right.
That's all it is. Knows how to pull from source. So when I go into that dream world, I'm able to almost see the future. And then I'm able to pull from source. God is giving me visions and ideas and stuff, and boom, I really think like Nikola Tesla was a sorcerer.
Hell yeah.
Like these formulas existed out there, and he was able to pull them and put them on a piece of paper, and then everybody can understand it once it's physical instead of a possibility. So yeah, I'll go into this dream world. I'll write into my notebook, and I'll believe it. And that was the main thing. It was really two ingredients: is dream crazy, believe bigger.
Dream crazy, believe bigger. I like that a lot.
That's it. Like if the dream's not crazy, go bigger. And if you believe small, like that's called limited beliefs. We always hear people say, "Don't have limited beliefs," but we never hear somebody say, "Believe bigger."
Right.
So I will take something that I want, and then I'll like expand it out and believe so big. And I believe it's done, and I'm confident. And there was this kind of this quote somebody told me, and they said, "Charlie, you're really confident in your dreams." I said, "Yeah, because I know it's already done." And they quoted somebody. Says that reminds me of a quote. It was some Asian guy. He was like, it's like being pregnant. It's like if a woman is pregnant, she knows in 9 months she's going to have a baby. Well, when you asked me, what's your dream? I talked about my dream very confidently, as if it's like I know the process. I know I'm MVP of the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game. Everybody else is looking at the current data, and they're going to doubt because based upon what they're given, I'm not MVP. But when people look at a woman who's pregnant, they know the process of, in 9 months, of course she's going to have a baby. That's how it works for everybody. So there's no doubt that she's not going to have a baby. But with dreams, people doubt because they just don't know the process. It's not their fault, but they just don't know. And for somebody like me who has tried to chase dreams all my life, yes, this is the process. In 9 months, I'm having a baby. It's like nothing to even be worried about. We just got to wake up every day and do what's right. We just got to eat good, and we got to just nourish, and that's it. It's easy. It's so easy. I just show up. Like after this, I go play basketball.
Right.
That's it. Like I'm going to go play basketball, and I'm gonna do that. And I watched a little Michael Jordan documentary, and seek my inspiration, and I can see, wow, Scottie Pippen got so good in those couple years of college to where he was the water boy, and then he became the best player in the college. Like Michael Jordan as a sophomore got cut, and then by the time he went to USC or UNC, I remember the coach Dean Smith was like, yeah, we had heard about this guy, but 3 days later, Dean Smith's like, this might be the best player in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like from just like hearing about him, but he just put in the work and he believed, and that's all I'm trying to do. You know, and like this video will be so valuable in 10 months. You know, it'll be like, wow, like
real magic, bro.
Like we might even need this footage in the feature film we're making.
I believe it. I hope so.
Because we're sitting here and it's just like talking about the future. But when that future plays out, it's just like
you have evidence of the process.
Evidence, and then you could scientifically, mathematically, and magically just put it into steps. Wow, that's how it was done. All right, I believe now. Okay.
I think a final question to wrap it up. So yesterday or 2 days ago, I was listening to this podcast that somebody sent me, and the podcast episode was called "The War of Art." And this guy, his name is Stephen Prowess, he's an author. He was talking about the resistance that creatives feel when we're getting ready to create something. So he says, as a writer, and this is when I was really resonating with him because I write too, and you write as well, and you create things. So we talk about inertia and how when you want to create something forward, there's like this invisible force almost sometimes repelling you. And sometimes the bigger you want, the bigger the force feels. And what he claimed as resistance, I was like, wow, that's what I've been calling normal. When I say leave normal behind, that's why it's an everyday decision, not a one-time decision, right? We always face that. Don't be the best version of yourself, mind, body, or spirit, whatever it is. So the final question for you is, do you deal or ever feel that resistance or normality? And how do you work through it? Because I'm assuming that there's a certain set of questions or beliefs or things that you're able to just like get up and going that allow it to be easier for you.
I'll give you an example. So like I had this idea like a year and a half ago. I was like, I want to turn my podcast into albums. And then I was like super excited. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Like this is going to be the reinvention of podcast. And then it was time to put like rubber to the road.
Right.
And then I was like, well, who's going to make it? And how do I pay them the right way? And it's never been done before. And then, okay, let me have somebody try it. So I had this one person in Atlanta try it, and it was just so whack. And I was just like, oh. And I gave up. And then the idea pops back up 6 months later, and I go through the same process. And then I got fed up with myself. And I got on to Quantopia, and I texted out all the producers, the music people in Quantopia, and I said, you know what, let's do a Zoom call. I want to tell y'all my vision. And I did a Zoom call with like 50 people. And I gave them my email, and I said, send in some concepts. And I even though I was pushing the ball down the field, I was even then not being very proactive because people were sending me stuff and I was just busy with this and busy with that. And I know it's a good idea, but I can't seem to get myself fully going.
And this resistance is like hitting you too at the same time. That whole like, feeling.
Yeah, because it's like the idea, which is like up in the sky, it feels so good up there, but then I'm down here where there's all this shit and mud and dirt. So this one person woke me up and he like smacked me in the face, and she shot me an email of a track, and it was good, but I didn't reply to it because I was busy. I was like, oh, it's gonna take so much effort to like talk to this person. Like I've got this. I was like, and then he shot me another email with another track. He sent 15 tracks over the course of the next couple months. And I was like, wow, like this dude doesn't give up. Even though I haven't responded to him, he kept sending it. And then we got on the phone. But guess what? I still was bullshitting. Still. Because we were texting back and forth. All right, let's get on the call. Let's organize it. I'll introduce you to my manager. We missed our calls like 4 or 5 times. Next thing,
It always ends up being like that. It's so interesting.
and then next thing you know, I'm getting really busy because I have these speaking engagements, and I have to head down to Tampa for the speaking engagement. And I'm in Tampa, and this producer texts me. He said, "Oh, you're in Tampa. Let's meet up." I say, "You're in Tampa too?" And then we met up. We had like a 4-hour conversation.
Oh, let's go.
And then we've been putting out these mixtapes every week.
You got like 4 right now, or 5?
5 today. We've got 9 recorded, and they're getting good too. Like, and it's just so amazing that. Okay, so if we were to break down the process.
And the cover art is crazy, bro. I'm just like,
Thanks,
damn,
man.
bro. I'm like, what?
Thank you. Everybody, go look at it on Spotify or Apple Music. Just look for Charlie Rocket. These mixtapes are really cool. And they're getting better. Like, it's really awesome to see the progression. So the process was, I have a great idea, and that feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I ignored it for a long time, but then one day I just said, you know what, let me just try to put the cart in front of the horse. And then I did that, and I was still ignoring it, but at least there was some momentum going because I got some other people involved, and they cared about
They're
it.
chipping away at it.
And then one person just like tripped me up and said, "No, you're gonna pay attention to me."
Because of their effort.
Because of their effort. And then, you know, magic happened, and I just happened to have a speaking engagement in the same city, so it was already designed. You know, like, oh, of course y'all aren't supposed to be on the call. Y'all are gonna meet in person. So it was all designed.
I do like to think that the universe drops breadcrumbs in that way, and it's like you have to follow the breadcrumbs. And I think people think that they're going to get the loaf of bread rather than being led to the loaf of breadcrumbs. Where it's like, you could have ignored that guy. You could have not seen him in Tampa, you know? And it's almost like part of the game. You know, it's like you can't get it so easy. But by trusting, by chipping away at it. And so when it gets hard, you know, so in that example of now you're sitting down, are the times behind you, like say somebody's watching this and they're like, wow, Charlie's so inspirational, but the way that Charlie's tapped in feels so foreign to me. When I sit down, I feel clouded, I feel demotivated, I feel doubtful, I feel like I'm struggling in this.
Yeah.
Would your advice, my question maybe, what would your advice be? And it could be the advice we started with. You're disrespecting somebody that believes in you, you know, listen to positive affirmations. It could be all the same stuff that everyone says, right, to reprogram. It might not be anything new. Or is there something that you believe that you really discovered or uncovered that isn't like what you've heard before, you know, and it helps you have an above average ability to get inspired, finish this interview, go hike a basketball, come back, write in your notebook, hop on a call, you know, and just continue to hop into the next thing. You know?
Yeah, I got 2 things. I give myself a superhero name, and this is actually backed by science now.
I like that. This is gonna be good.
I didn't know that science, like a study, would like explain this.
Like an alter ego or something.
Yeah, so I wear my little bandana. My name's Charlie Rocket. Before it was Charlie Rocket, it was CEO Charlie. I give myself these superhero names. And these scientists, these psychologists, these doctors did this study where they took 3 sets of children and they put them in a room to solve an unsolvable puzzle. Have you heard about this story?
No.
It's really
cool. But I'm gonna enjoy it.
So, so the first set of kids, these are like 5-year-olds. They're trying to solve an unsolvable puzzle, and they get frustrated and they give up after 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes is like,
long time,
I'm done. So then the second set of kids, they ask them before they go in the room, said, "Who's your favorite superhero?" Like, who's your favorite superhero?
The first person that came to mind was just Superman.
Okay, Superman. Okay, so if you're going to go into this room, I want you to act like you're Superman, and it's your job to save the world by solving this puzzle. Okay? So those kids, they went in, and they're trying to solve the puzzle, and 5 minutes passes. And then 10 minutes passes.
Because you're Superman, you can't quit, right?
So they had a lot longer period than the first group, a lot longer. So then the third group of kids, they said to the little kid, you know, who's your favorite superhero?
Mm-hmm.
It's Superman. You say, okay, here's a Superman outfit. Put this on. Man, these kids stayed in there so long. Like, it was an unsolvable puzzle, but they stayed in there so long, so much longer. And so that's what I do. And that is like...
The costume part, dude, really.
I got the name. I got the identity. I am an athlete because I am Charlie Rocket. And then I tell people who I am. And I just stick with it longer because that is who I am. I am MVP of the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game. So I got to show up and go play basketball every day. So that's the first thing. And
dude, that's huge. That really gives me a new perspective. And even just into, and don't forget the second part.
I got you.
But for me, even what I heard, bro, is even just as an entrepreneur, you know, it really puts a stress on fashion. You know, even like the suit of armor that you wear every day, you know, even for me right now, I say, wow, you know, I think I'm a certain thing. But what if I just double down in terms of what I'm wearing? Is that going to have an effect on it?
Yes.
And the answer is yes, exactly. You know, so it's like not just being a kid, you know, so if someone's listening to it.
I was
you
like,
did it, bro.
excited.
I saw that.
I was so excited about my new bandana. And I'm like in the kitchen, like folding it.
Yeah,
like it's a very sacred thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like folding it, laying it out, you know.
Yeah. And you put that shit on, you said, let's go.
Because I
stepped into it.
I mean, it is goofy, but it works.
It
and
works,
sometimes I'd rather go with what works than what, you know,
normal.
It's normal. Yeah. It's not normal. It's odd. It's not normal. I left normal behind.
Like, yeah.
You know, so the second part is I always tell myself it's easy. And I never ever heard anybody say that, like, from the books or the motivation. Because usually when we go into something, like especially like business or athletics, we'll always say, oh man, I'm gonna have to grind. I'm gonna have to, like, it's gonna be so hard. I'm gonna have to wake up early. So it's like, I have to grind. I have to. And yeah, working hard, you know, is definitely something we should do. But I always tell myself it's gonna be easy. It's not gonna be hard because our beliefs, if we believe something's going to be hard, our reticular activating system, which is the part of our brain that filters out all the millions of things entering, and it just shows us the important things, so our brain doesn't go haywire. So, you know, if I were to say to you guys, you know, like, actually, you know, everybody can relate to this. So it's like, say you want to buy a silver Tesla. You start looking online, then you drive around, oh, they're everywhere. That's your reticular activating system, thinking they're everywhere. They've always been there. Now it's just important to you. So your reticular activating system is going to show you what you believe. And if we believe something's going to be hard, we're going to look for ways it's going to be hard. If we believe it's easy, we're going to look for ways it's going to be easy. So if we were to rewind the tape right here and go back to when I was saying I'm going to win MVP, I said, I only need to make 8 shots.
Right, that's easy.
How easy is that? I can go make 8 shots right now. We can go right over there to the basketball court, and if I hit 8 shots, I'm MVP. I'm just, like, that sounds so easy, right? Well, that's what gets me to show up every day. And when I'm visualizing those 8 shots, because, like, last year, Common won MVP, and he only scored 10 points. You know, Famous Lowe's, he won the year before, he hit 22 shots. So when I'm looking at 22...
He had 44 points or 22 points?
No, 22 points. 22 points.
Like, damn, he went off. 22 shots. I was like, damn.
So if I'm looking at 22, which is a big number,
right.
I'm thinking like, okay, that's about 8 if I hit some threes,
right,
some twos, and some free throws. Okay, cool. So I got that 8 number, and 8's easy. So I'm going to look for ways it's going to be easy. So
man,
that's my advice.
Dude, that's huge advice. And even I don't want to overcomplicate it to somebody because there's so many gems. And man, I know we're gonna have another conversation at some point.
Hey,
I would say, before we head off, what might be some parting words that you have? You know, final sentence, final thoughts.
I'd say the final thoughts would be this: it's okay to start off slow. That's why I actually named myself Charlie Rocket, because a rocket starts off slow. And just because you start off slow doesn't mean you're not going to outer space. It doesn't mean you're not a rocket. You're still a rocket even if you're slow. So I kind of enjoy those bad scenes because I say, oh, this is a movie. So the bad scene is really important. So when something bad goes on, that's really where the gifts come. And I always say this, you know this quote, uh, Santa Claus does not deliver gifts in the daylight. He only delivers gifts when it's dark. So when something is dark in your life, look around for the presents, because that's where the gifts come from. If I never had a brain tumor, if I was never 300 pounds, I wouldn't be a Nike athlete. So it's like the bad made the story good, and a negative, let's look at like a negative, like a line, like a minus sign. A negative knocks you down, but when you get up, it turns into a positive.
That's
You know,
right.
it's
Shit,
that
bro.
simple.
Dude, thank you so much, Joe, for your wisdom. It means a lot to me. And guys, if you watch this video to the end, I want you to do a couple things. Put some rockets in the comments. Go head over to Charlie's page, at Charlie. If you're leaving normal behind, becoming the best version of yourself, giving back, creating things that matter, loving others, and encouraging others to do the same, you need to go on over to Quantopia as well.
So if y'all want the number to Quantopia, y'all gotta hit up Rob for the number.
I'll let you guys know Quantopia is Charlie's private secret community. He does a lot of incredible things there, secret exclusive content, and you'll meet a lot of amazing people as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, share, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.